Shalom. This is MOREH again. I wasn't going to actually do another one, but Brother J, Aki J, sent me an interesting point that some people might miss. And first thing I want to say is that we got to get an understanding on this word prophet. I already told you what the word prophet means. I already told you in the Hebrew what the word prophet means, and we have to agree that one of the words for prophet is spokesman, is a speaker. Prophet does not mean one who foretells the future. We can go through in the Hebrew and see the word navi used for others than those who foretold, let's say, or those who spoke of Yah, of what was to come. To say that because we don't see him referred to as a prophet means he wasn't that one, then doesn't make sense, because the word navi or nabi or whatever, however you pronounce it, means to be a spokesman. Was Yehoshua a spokesman of Yah? Yes, he was. Did Yehoshua speak the words of Yah? Yes, he was. Was Yah with Yehoshua as he was with Moshe? Yes, he was. So to say that, to have this debate on the word prophet would mean, if it's not in the word in the book of Yehoshua, the word navi is, or nabi. That word is in the book of Yehoshua, and that word means to be a spokesman. That word means to be a speaker on behalf, of course, in this case, we're talking about the Most High. So yes, let's get rid of the word prophet and speak to what the word in the Hebrew actually means. So what's being brought to my attention is Devarim chapter 34, or Deuteronomy chapter 34. Verse, and I'm going to be going again. I got the lighting better this time. Not that it matters. You don't want to see me, but Devarim chapter 34, verse 9, I guess we start. It says, and Yehoshua son of Nun was filled with the spirit of wisdom. This is after Moshe died. For Moshe had laid his hands on him, and the children of Israel listened to him and did as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. So in that sense, he is like Moshe. Correct? Correct. And verse 10, it says, and since then, no prophet has arisen in Israel like Moshe, whom knew Yah face to face. And that is correct. Oh, I'm sorry. And since then, no spokesman has arisen in Israel like Moshe, whom Yah knew face to face. This is being taken out of context again. Okay, we got rid of the word prophet. We're using the Hebrew word nabi, which means a spokesman, right? So, since then, since when? Now, some people debate, it's talking about since the time that Moshe put his hands on Yehoshua. I would assume to bless him and to let everyone know that this is my assistant. This is the one that's taking over for me. That since then, no spokesman arose. But let's look at something. There are three things that this verse begins to talk about, or begins in the whole paragraph. It says, and since then, no spokesman, no navi, has arisen in Yisrael like Moshe, whom Yah knew face to face. Now it's going to go and tell you what these spokesmen after did not, or was not going through, or did not show like Moshe showed, or experience what Moshe experienced. One, face to face. So no spokesman, not even Yeshua, knew Yah face to face. And we're going to get to what face to face actually is in a minute. But Yeshua, the New Testament Messiah, did not know Yahweh face to face. We see no place in the New Testament where Yahushua met Yah face to face. No place. Number two, the second thing. For all the signs and wonders which Yah sent him to do in the land of Mitzrayim before Pharaoh and before all his servants and in the land and in all his land. So the second thing that no prophet was like Moshe in is all the signs and wonders that he did in Egypt before Pharaoh. The third thing. And for all that strong hand and all the great fearsome deeds that Moshe did before the eyes of all Yisrael. So these are the three things that no other spokesman who arose out of Egypt can show that they experienced. They did not experience a face-to-face conversations or face-to-face conversations with the Most High. They did not do signs and wonders as Moshe did in the land of Yisrael, nor did they do strong hand or do fearsome deeds which Moshe did before the eyes of all Yisrael. So when it says, and no spokesman rose in Yisrael like Moshe, it categorizes the three things that no other spokesman did since Moshe. It doesn't mean that there were no other spokesmen like Moshe. Like something doesn't mean that every single thing that that person did, because Yah said, as I was with Moshe, so shall I be with you. That's like Moshe. Is it not? It's like Moshe. So we have to get out of these English, Greek mindset, Aki. And anyone who believes this, I'm trying to show you context. Okay. Now let's look again at this face-to-face thing. Let's look at Exodus 33:7. I'll do this quick. Hope it's quicker than the other one. Exodus 33. Exodus 33:7. Start from verse 7. And Moshe took his tent and pitched it outside the camp, far from the camp, and called it the tent of meeting. And it came to be that everyone who sought Yah went out to the tent of meeting, which was outside the camp. And it came to be, whenever Moshe went out to the tent, that all the people rose, and each man stood at his tent door and watched Moshe until he entered the tent. So obviously the tent that Moshe went into was different than the tent that everyone else was at. And it came to be, verse 9, when Moshe entered the tent, that the column of cloud descended and stood at the door of the tent. And he spoke, who spoke? Yahweh spoke to Moshe, face to face, not face to face, not face, but the fact that he came down in, or the cloud came down at the tent where Moshe went to have a conversation, to have a one-on-one conversation. Because remember, as we already read, Yahweh was not speaking to the children of Yisrael because they did not want to hear Yah. So Moshe would go out to the tent of meeting, and Yah would come down in this cloud. This cloud would come down and he would speak to Moshe. Verse 10, and all the people saw the column of cloud standing at the tent door, and all the people rose and bowed themselves, each one at the door of his tent. Verse 11, thus Yahweh spoke to Moshe face to face as a man speaks to a friend. Face to face just means that he spoke to Moshe directly. What did we read here? Yahushua chapter 1. I lost it. Yahushua chapter 1. Every place for verse 5. No man is going to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moshe, so I am with you. Who was he speaking to? He was speaking to Yahushua. How did he speak to Yahushua? It would have had to be at the tent, but I'm not going into that. But he did speak to Yahushua. How did he speak to Yahushua, Aki? In his mind? In the mountain? However he spoke to him, he did not speak to him through this cloud at the tent of meeting. Why? Because they considered that Moshe speaking to Yah face to face. Face to face. So when we look at Devarim, Deuteronomy chapter 9, and we look at that, it specifies the things that the other spokesman did not measure, so to speak, as Moshe did. Again, the first one was Moshe knew Yah, spoke to Yah face to face. We see that in Exodus 33:7. Number 2, no other spokesman performed or did signs and wonders which Yahweh sent him to do in the land of Egypt. We don't see that happening again. And number 3, verse 12, and for all the strong hand and all the great fearsome deeds which Moshe did before the eyes of all of Yisrael. So our key once again, what is your definition, or anyone, what is your definition of prophet? We take prophet off the table and we deal with the Hebrew. The Hebrew Navi means a spokesman or a speaker. In this case, we're talking about a spokesman and a speaker of Yahweh. And there were many who were spokesmen of Yahweh, but those many did not speak to Yah face to face. Those many did not do signs and wonders as he did in Egypt, and those many did not do the fearsome kinds of works that Moshe did before the eyes of Yisrael. Context, Aki. Context. Mishpachah. Shabbat. Oh yes, Shabbat Shalom.